Hi and welcome to Polly Puts the Colour On. In this video I thought I'd share with you all of my completed pages out of all of my Johanna Basford books. As you can see, I've got quite a few of them. I think I've got all of her books apart from Reams of Wonder. I keep umming and ahhing over whether to get it, but I'm just not quite sure as it's kind of my thing. But I have got all of the other ones. So obviously if you like this video, please, click like, subscribe. I will link all of these books down below, although I'm sure you've probably already got these books anyway. They will be Amazon affiliate links. So it won't cost you anything extra, but it would help to support the channel. And I have also got a Ko-fi page set up. I'm hoping to start sharing some of my colour combinations on there. So I will start from kind of my oldest book to my newest book. So let me just move some of the other ones out of the way. And we'll start with Secret Garden because that was the first one that I got. And there is a big caveat that obviously some of this colouring, I tried to work out when I started adult colouring, and I think it was back in 2014. So some of these pages are obviously quite old. I only had a cheap set of pencils and then got some gel pens and water-based markers. So, you can see my colouring journey is what I'm trying to say. So you can see here, I did colour the title page. Nice bright colours. No idea what pencils or pens it was. Like I said, it was just a cheap set that I think I got off Amazon. No idea what brand it was because I didn't know anything about shading. Got that one there that looks like I used water-based markers. I did used to write my name in there, so I have coloured that up because Polly is more of my nickname than my actual name. So I've covered that up. So you see, quite pleased with the colours I used on there. So I won't spend too long on a lot of these pages until we get to maybe some of the newer ones. But I was really pleased actually with this double page spread. It's not the best coloured page. See there, I've completely gone out of the lines. You can see the pencil shadings and things. But actually, I was just quite pleased to have tackled a double page spread. I remember being really pleased to have that finished. This one, I think I actually did this one just a couple of years ago actually. Just picked a few water-based markers, and then this was definitely one of my early ones with just some pencil and water-based markers. But I thought I'd share with you my all of my coloured pages because I really like watching other people's completed pages, like, in terms of like their whole collection, because I think it's just really interesting to see people's kind of colouring journey, where they started from, and also just seeing which pages they chose to colour. So as you can see, I used to stick completely to colouring each and every page. I don't know why. I used to think I had to colour them all in order. Then I kind of realised once I've got a few books, like, that isn't going to work, and why am I trying to make myself colour pages that I don't really like? So you can see this page I've literally just used to test various, I think I've trying out some new sparkly paints over here, and I think that was oil pastels that I was having a go at. So I've just kind of used this as a test page. I'm never going to finish this one. And then on this one, this was just fine liners, and I was quite pleased with how this one turned out actually with the rainbow colour. It took a little while, but not too long because it was, it was only a few colours. Quite pleased to have had that one done, to be honest. And then here, I just used gel pen on that page, so you can probably see how shiny that is. Pencil and a bit of gel pen on here, and then in the middle I used oil pastels. I think this was about one of the first times I used oil pastel. No idea really what effect I was going for there, but I remember I had a lot of fun kind of blending all the different colours together. So, it doesn't quite make sense with what's outside, but I do quite like how that turned out. And I remember I didn't fix that page, so I will just put that paper back over. So then skip ahead to this one. This again, I think I did probably about 2 years ago, so slightly more recent. Water-based markers and some gel pen on there. Quite pleased with the colour palette on that one. I think that one turned out quite nicely. And then to this double page. So as you can see, I was a little bit inspired by kind of the little leaf maze page that I did earlier on in the book, although I did kind of gradually try and blend instead of just having the harsh end in each colour. I did try and blend some of the colours into each other. As you can see, completely slipped with the pen there, but never mind. And use some nice sparkly paint on the door. So I'm quite pleased to have that one done. Because again, it's nice having a double page done, isn't it? This page was inspired by J.I. Colorist, with her way of like tackling pages, the wallpaper pages that you maybe wouldn't colour the whole thing up, because I did really like this page. I thought the little fish and the little lily pads and flowers look really, really cute, but I thought I'm not going to colour the whole thing. So when I watched some of her videos where she used this idea with the jigsaw, I thought actually that's a really good way of colouring it without having to actually colour the whole thing. So although it's not complete, I've classed that as a completed page because I think it turned out quite nicely. So I just used water-based markers on that one, really nice and simple. And I think I borrowed some of my daughter's jigsaw pieces, because she's still, although she's 11 now, she had still got some jigsaws from when she was much younger with the bigger pieces. So I just borrowed them to trace around. And that's nearly everything out of Secret Garden. The only other one I've got is just this really simple one. As you can see, super shiny. Just use some gel pens on that one. I think I did that while I was watching TV one night, and the glitter's completely gone over there because I never put anything in between the page. So maybe I do need to add something in there. So the next one is Enchanted Forest. And again, you'll notice that I started colouring in the start and colouring every single page. So that was just some cheap pencils there. Again, just some cheap pencils there. Again, covered my name over. Just some standard water-based markers for that. So nothing special there. Really don't know what I was thinking about the bright green on those trees. But I don't know. It's done. I'm not going to go back and change it. Then I did these two. I was actually really pleased with this one. It's not the best colouring, but what I really liked about this one was the limited colour palette. Because I remember this was like the first time I'd ever done anything like that, trying to keep it really simple. Just water-based markers and some glitter gel pens on that one. Again, another double page with all the leaves and the trees. Oh, so that one turned out quite sweet. This was slightly more recent. I think this was 3 or 4 years ago. I seem to remember, I think I did this when we were on holiday. So just pencils, a little bit of gel pen on these. And then once we were back off holiday, I added the chalk pastel in. So I do quite like how that double page spread turned out. Then you can see I started getting a bit braver and thinking, right, I'm not going to colour every single page. And then here, this was inspired by somebody on Instagram. I've tried looking through and I can't find it, because it was quite a few years ago I did this. And I remember I used my Prismacolors. I was really, really pleased with how this turned out. It was quite tricky getting the blends on some of them, but I was really, really pleased with how that turned out. And then this all pencil, just a little bit of white gel pen. Again, really pleased with the different kind of colour palette that I used on that one. And then here we've got a nice double page spread. Prismacolor pencils for both of those, I can remember because they're a little bit more recent. And then a nice bit of washi tape around the edge to finish those off. So I really like how they turned out. And they were really like how like the different leaves where I've not used the green, I really like how they look. And then here, this was heavily inspired by Coloured by Maya. So I just used a black water-based marker for doing all the leaves and then got my oil pastels out. Again, blend is not the best, but I had a whale of a time doing this, and I did fix this with the satin glazing liquid that Maya suggests to use, and it works a treat. So I'd check out her channel. I will link it below, because that I had the oil pastels for a few years. As you can see, that I used it a little bit in Secret Garden, but I was never really quite sure about what to do with it afterwards, because I thought, oh, it's going to stay really sticky. So once I saw her video suggesting to use that, I thought, right, I'm going to buy myself a bottle, and I have tried to use my oil pastels a little bit more. Still not super confident with them, so I still don't use them loads, but I am getting a bit braver with them because they are a lot of fun. And then here again, you can see it was inspired a bit by the early pages. Nice bold bright washi tape, and then Prismacolors again. So I was quite pleased to have a double page spread done there. And then we've got this one. This one's got, I think this is when I first got some nice watercolour paints off Etsy. Started expanding my collection of colouring supplies. I was quite pleased with how that one turned out. I think that might have been Prismacolors, looking at how shiny the pencil looks on the page. And that's actually all that I've done out of here. There is some that I would really like to do. I really like that page. And I do really like this boat one. Like, there is a few that I would really like to get to, just haven't got around to it quite yet. Then we've got Lost Ocean. Now, I must admit, when I was going through and I was putting all the tabs on the pages to help me find everything, I thought, I don't think I've coloured that much in Lost Ocean. But actually, it turns out I have coloured far more in this than I actually remember. Like, some of the pages I don't remember doing. I know I coloured them, but I have no recollection of doing it, so it was obviously quite a while ago. So there you can see I've used really nice bright water-based markers, some pencils and water-based markers over on this side. Again, I've done the title page, covered my name up. Don't like my handwriting, so I don't tend to write my name in anymore. And then some gel pen water-based markers. You'll see in this book I use an awful lot of water-based markers and fine liners, because obviously it is really, really fiddly, isn't it? So again, really bright there with the water-based markers and all the gel pens. Again, a bit of glitter gel pen on that one. I seem to remember, I think I did those ones on holiday as well. It's funny, isn't it, how sometimes you've got distinct memories of colouring pages, what you used, where you were, maybe what you were watching, who you were talking to, or whatever while you're doing it. And then other pages I've looked at and gone, oh, I coloured that. Don't remember doing that. So I remember this was a page that my daughter picked out for me, and I started it. I think I did that page, and then ages after I added the other page. So it's a mix of different pencils and water-based markers, glitter gel pen, and then I put some stickles on the little bubbles. So I was really pleased actually to have, again, you know, a double page spread done. It's not the most amazing page, bit of simple chalk pastel in the background. I'd probably do it very differently. If I was to colour it now, I'd do some more shading on there, but I'm not going to go back and change it. This is how I decided it was finished at the time, so that's how it's going to stay. And then I did this double page, which is just water-based markers, and then shed loads of glitter gel pens, if it camera can pick up the sparkle. So I seem to remember I just picked out some pens that I was trying to use up. Still haven't used them up, I've still got them, but I thought they were really bold, bright colours that I probably wasn't going to use in many other books, but I thought for this it actually would work quite well. And then you see I've still got loads of tabs. I've coloured way more in this than I'd realised. This one was all fine liners. Remember, it took ages, this one, but I had to just pick an element, and I went round and I coloured all the little purple bits, just kept repeating the pattern round and round. So although it took ages, actually I did remember really enjoying that one, which is unusual because I'm not normally one for really fiddly detailed pages, but I did really like doing that one. This one, remember, I did on holiday, water-based markers, glitter gel pen, and a bit of white gel pen to make the bubbles, and then I added a bit of chalk pastel for the background. Really pleased with how that one turned out. And then got this one. Now I've got really distinct memories of starting this page. It was kind of at this, you know, when COVID was hitting and it kept being on the news, and in the UK we weren't sure, were we going to go into lockdown like all the other European countries. I remember sitting and starting colouring this in front of the TV with the news on. I mean, it probably wasn't healthy to have the news on that much, but, you know, we didn't know what else to do. So I coloured black all over the background, and then looked at it and thought, oh, I can't colour this whole page. So I decided to put the starfish in and just coloured the starfish, picked a handful of pens, and then just coloured that. And I'm really pleased actually with how that turned out. And it was really good actually for my mind. Like I say, it was, a very uncertain time. And I remember it did really help me to just switch off for a little bit, because obviously it was so fiddly. I really had to concentrate. Then we've got this one here, which was just pencil, tiny bit of gold and blue glitter gel pen. I'm quite pleased with how that one turned out. I think that one's quite pretty. You just make me chuckle, that octopus. I think he looks really sweet. Then I've got another double page spread. I've done far more double page spreads than I remember doing actually. So this was, I don't know what pencils these were. Wasn't Prismacolor. I want to say it might have been Castle Art Soft Touch, but I don't actually remember. A bit of chalk pastel in the background, and then a bit of white gel pen for the little bubbles. But I really like the colour palette that I chose on this double page spread. I think it turned out quite pretty. Then another one here. Again, really pleased with the colour palette on this one. I'd probably do the shading and things different, but I do quite like the colours that I chose on that one. And you can see I started trying to do a bit of shading there on some of the seaweed. Getting a little bit more confident by that point. This one is probably in the last couple of years, judging from the fact that I put stickles on the background, because I've not had stickles for all that long. Water-based marker, load of glitter gel pen, unlike some of the fish. Super duper sparkly, shiny page. I really like how that one turned out. I do like a nice bit of sparkle on my pages. Then this one, I seem to remember I did this one on holiday at the same time as I did that skull that you saw earlier. So this was just water-based markers and gel pen. And I think I probably meant to add a background to it when I got back off holiday and just never got around to it. And this is how this whale will forever stay, I think. I'm not one for going back and changing my pages. And then I obviously decided one day, right, I'm going to do the most simple page I can possibly find in a book. So I just did that one, fine liners and different water-based markers, and then the slightest bit, the camera isn't picking it up all that well because it is very, very faint, a little bit of chalk pastel in the background, and that's everything that I've done out of there. There is a few pictures in here that I would possibly still like to colour. I do quite like that dolphin page, but I think out of Lost Ocean, I don't think there's that many more that I do. I'd maybe do this one because I do quite like the little lighthouse, but I think there's not that many more left out of that one that I've got a burning desire to colour. I might do at some point. I won't say, I'll never colour anymore, but I have done quite a lot already. And I've got quite a few others. Now, this one, I thought I'd coloured in more in Magical Jungle. Turns out I haven't. So I do perhaps need to get to this one. So maybe if anybody wants to do a buddy colour in any of these books, please let me know. So again, you can see this was quite early on. So just pencil, did try a little bit of shade in there. And very bold there with my water-based markers on that page. Bit of glitter gel pen. Pencil on there, again covered my name up. Water-based markers, I think this is probably when I just bought my set of the Staedtler Tri Plus. I want to say this is one of the colours that's on this page actually. So I remember having a whale of a time trying out my new water-based markers on here. Really don't like how this double page turned out. I mean, look at that elephant. I perhaps ought to go back in and kind of fix this, but then I also think, well, it's all part of your colouring journey, isn't it? I was really happy with it at the time. Looking back, I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. I like the colours I picked, but the execution of it definitely could have been improved. So again, just water-based markers. I don't think I even put any glitter gel pen on this. So you can see this is, early on. And then again here, I think I've used a little bit of gel pen looking on those flowers. Not very cohesive with the colours, but there we are. I do quite like how those birds turned out though. So just water-based markers again on here. As you can see, I didn't even do any shading. That's why the pencils look really, the leaves looks really stripy because it didn't go back in with any pencils. Then I've done this double page spread, which I am actually really pleased with. Remember, I used chalk pastel in the background, bit of glitter gel pen, and then I tried out my Inktense pencils. I think this is when I first got some Inktense pencils. So I tried them out on all the really big leaves and then went round with gel pens and metallic paints. And that looks like that might even be Prismacolor, I think, there. So I was really pleased actually with how this turned out. I think it looks really cool. I was going for like a slightly mysterious sort of look with the background, and I really quite like how it turned out. Because I'm not one for drawing in extra things. I think this page would have looked great if maybe I'd have drawn extra, trees or leaves in, but I don't like drawing. I much prefer colouring. So that, I'm really pleased actually with how this one turned out. Then I did this chap here. You can see very shiny watercolour paints there, and I tried oil pastel in the background. As you can see, it blends not great. I probably should have gone back in and done another layer, but I remember having a lot of fun doing this page. And that looks like Prismacolors there as well, and I think I used oil pastels on the bottom part as well. I do really want to do this toucan at some point because I think he looks really sweet. There's a lot of pages in here that I really would like to colour, and for some reason I just haven't gone to this book for some reason. And then here, don't remember what pencils I used, to be honest. Looks like it might have been watercolour pencil, looking at the hippo. A little bit of glitter gel pen, and then some washi tape. So a really simple one. And then that's all I've coloured in this one. I honestly thought that I'd coloured far more in Magical Jungle because there are some really cute pages. Like I really like that elephant. I do quite like that. I don't know what kind of book it is, but I do really like that page. Like there's loads in here I would like to colour. Like that one I've looked at several times, still haven't got to doing it, so I might need to make sure that I colour in this one before the end of the year. Then I've got Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Now I don't know whether I'd call this a project book because I've not been that disciplined at working at it. Kind of prefer coloured by Maya's approach of like having like a whole book whip, because it is one that I would like to finish at some point. As you can see, it's not exactly falling apart, but you can see where the glue's giving way there. So just use water-based markers and glitter gel pen here. Just some water-based markers here. So one thing I did do when I got this book is I picked out the colours for the butterfly, and then I went through and coloured the butterfly on every single page that it appears on, so that I used exactly the same colours, which I'm glad I did, because I would have had no idea what I used, because I started this, whenever this book came out is when I bought it, and obviously that was quite a few years ago now, and I'm nowhere near having it finished. So just water-based markers on here. Tried blending them a little bit on those flowers. And then pencil and gel pen and watercolours on here. I was quite pleased actually with how that lantern turned out, and the little flags. This one took a while because I just wasn't quite sure what colours to use on certain things. This one, I remember getting really fed up colouring this one. Quite enjoyed it to start with. Then I just got bored because there's so many little bits, and I know some people like colouring in all the little bits, but I get a bit fed up. But in the end, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I used lots of glitter gel pen. As you can see from all the sparkle, I went absolutely crazy here on this Clark. I think the whole thing was coloured in glitter gel pen. But I'm really pleased actually with how it turned out in the end. I think in the end I just picked myself a handful of pencils and went, right, I'm only going to use those, which that helped me then to get everything finished. But that's why there's not much shading, because I just got fed up and I just wanted it done. Then I did this one, purely glitter gel pen. Had a lot of fun doing that one. Took a while though, because I'm making sure that it was dry and that I wasn't going to smudge it. But I'm quite pleased actually with how that turned out. Then there's the butterfly, just a little bit of chalk pastel in the background, water-based markers there. Then here, again, bit of pencil, bit of glitter gel pen. I think I used Prismacolors actually on there, looking at it. A little bit of chalk pastel in the background. So I have got quite a few done in this, but it's still by no means anywhere near done. Bit of pencil, bit of glitter gel pen on here. I think it was Castle Art Soft Touch. So what I decided last year is normally when we go away in the summer, we go away for 3 weeks. And I'll take a colouring book with me, but I only tend to just take one colouring book. So in the past, I've always taken like a Lulu Mayo one because obviously it's quite small, so it's easy to travel with. What I decided last year was, right, I'd like to focus on this book and get it done at some point. If I take it away on holiday, even if I only ever colour in it in the summer when we're on holiday, at least I can guarantee I'm going to get a bit of colouring done in it each year. So it's a very, very long-term project, but I'll get there eventually. So Castle Art Soft Touch, bit of glitter gel pen on there. This was Prismacolor, bit of glitter gel pen, chalk pastel in the background. I was really pleased actually with how these turned out. I love the colours that I've used on those. And then here I've got some Inktense, I think, on some of the leaves, and then I've edged it in glitter gel pen. I think that was Inktense on those as well, so I'm quite pleased with how that turned out. The colours were really nice. This was a mix of Inktense and then just pencil shading over the top with probably my Castle Art Soft Touch, because I think I did these on holiday, and glitter gel pens because I normally take my Castle Art Soft Touches away with me. Used glitter gel pen there, different colours to outline, which I think made those leaves really pop actually. This is the pages that I'm kind of currently focusing on in this book. As you can see, I'm kind of getting there with both of them. Only really got like the inside bit, the bottom bit, and I got to work out what to do with that bit. I'm kind of thinking I might do it grey because obviously it's probably part of the wall, but then I think it might be a bit too much grey, so I don't know. I'll decide on that bit at the end. And then I've not got too much left to do on here, just really a few flowers and the centres of those ones, so that's nearly done. Here, as you can see, I obviously decided to pick up a water-based marker one day, and they're never quite finished colouring those leaves, so I do need to try and work out what pen I used there. I'm hoping I can find one that, if it's not the same, I'm hoping it can match close enough. Then I did here again, I need to go back in and do the centres. I just picked some water-based markers up one day and just thought, right, I like this pink, found some flowers. Did some of those leaves there, as you can see, for the little butterfly. So I won't show you all the pages where the butterfly is. Here you can see I've just done a few leaves. This is complete though. I use Prismacolors, I remember, on here, and glitter gel pen. And I was really pleased with how these flowers turned out, and the little kind of lantern blossom things. Thought they were really pretty. Then I've done this one, went perhaps a little bit overboard with the gel pen, but I really quite like how that turned out. I also, as well as colouring the butterfly all through the book, I did colour in Ivy all the way through. I'm still not confident at colouring people, and I really wasn't back then. So she's not the best, but at least she matches on all of the pages. And I do really like that little mouse there. And then the only other bits that I've done in here is right towards the back. I can find it. So I've done those two. I'll probably come in at some point and use some chalk pastel or distress ink or something for the background. But as I was going through and colouring the butterflies, I coloured in those. And then the only other bit I've coloured in is the very end page. Now, I probably should have actually left this until I'd finished the rest of the book. That might have made more sense, but I think I just decided of, wow, this is really small and quick. I colour it and then I can say I've got another page done in it. So that's everything that I've done in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. So whenever we go away, I'm going to try and take this away with me and chip away at it, try and get a little bit more done. So maybe later on in the year, you'll see this in my completed pages again and see a few more done, hopefully. So I've kind of realised that this is going to need to be a part 1, part 2 kind of situation for these Johanna Basford books, because I didn't quite realise how many pages I'd actually done in them. So at the start of part 2, I will look at my completed pages in Worlds of Flowers, and I will also share my completed pages in Worlds of Wonder, Small Victories, Magical Worlds, and also Johanna's Christmas. So keep a lookout for part 2, aiming to get that up for this coming Wednesday, so it'll only be in a few days time. So if you're not already subscribed, please click subscribe so that you don't miss out on part 2. So I've got some really beautiful pages that I'm quite proud of, and these, especially with them being newer books, obviously my colouring's improved an awful lot. So yeah, please click subscribe, click like, maybe comment with your favourite page or your favourite Johanna Basford book. It'd be nice to get a conversation going. And don't forget, I will have links for the books down in the description, and obviously I've got a Ko-fi store as well if you're looking to support the channel at all. So yeah, check back this coming Wednesday, and take care everyone. I'll catch you in the next one.